All right. So we're starting recording. I know we're going to start on time. I am recording this. Hopefully, it is recording properly. But I wanted to kind of go over like all the stuff that has happened just in the past few months. I wanted to continue on with our technology classes, but pretty much I have just everything that I learned in the past year has just really, really changed. So we had a lot of tools that we introduced, different AIs doing different things. We introduced lots of different programs. We introduced lots of it. Like the list that I gave you was like a whole page long, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have, oh, this for this or earth for that, and and just all of a sudden Google said we're going to release Gemini. So Google was kind of behind. We talked about like Google being dead and Google just not, being able to really be in the market, and it just didn't have the AI tools. So it then decided to just come out with this massive hit with Gemini. And Gemini was like the worst AI out there, one of the worst AIs out there. And it got a major upgrade. Such a major upgrade that it became a default model for like all these other programs. So it really just came out of nowhere, right? And it says we're going to do all this stuff, and now it's the best at image generation. And I know you're saying you have image generation problems, but like actually Nano Banana like altogether is probably one of the best integrations for video generations. Google just started updating and upgrading all of their apps. I mean, just massive updates. Created new updates like vids. It just gave a huge upgrade to its notebook LM. Its Gemini app and its browser just got a massive update, and we're like, wait a second, okay, do we need all these tools anymore? And then our club had been playing around with Zephy, and we kind of did it as a silent auction for our big fundraiser. And then we looked at some of the other integrations and we did some trainings, and we're like, holy moly, Zephy is just upgrading and upgrading and upgrading. And it's not just somewhere you can put events, something you can put events on. You can do member management, and you can do campaigns, and you can do events, and you can do attendance. And so like, do we need Meetup anymore? Then it was like, Gemini was great, so get rid of OpenAI, get rid of Claude, get rid of all these other ones. Let's save ourselves money on those, And then you had different various Riverside and all these different programs to create videos, and you had everybody was playing with Sora, where they was creating those little 8-second video clips, and all those were subscriptions, and Vids took over that. And then just Gamma just kept on getting better and better, and we're like, oh no, we need to just consolidate. So we're just getting rid of everything. We're getting rid of everything but Google Workspace. We're keeping Gamma, and we're getting the premium subscription for Gamma. We're keeping our Canva, which is free, and pretty much we're going to integrate Zephy into all aspects of our club, and we're going to maximize how we're going to use it. So that's why we're here. And that's why I wanted to do this shift. So we're still going to use some of the tools. And so to go over, we are still going to use our Canva, right? Our Canva is great for making, it makes videos. It makes great flyers and postcards. It has a great printing aspect, and the cost of printing is really low, and it's free, right? So we're going to keep our Canva because we love Canva, and especially because it's free, right? We're definitely keeping it. And then we're keeping our Gamma. We talked about Gamma, and we talked about how we can make presentations and slides and stuff, but we're going to up one. We're now going to use Gamma to create our newsletters. We're going to use Gamma to create our membership meeting PowerPoints and presentations. And we're going to be able to collaborate in ways that you've never done before. So we're going to keep our Gamma. And not only is our Gamma great, but when we make our presentations, we now can export that into a Google slide. So we can present it at a meeting, but also we can import it into vids and make a video. And we can just, one up our training, one up our meetings, right? But then now we're going to incorporate Zeffy, right? So we're going to pretty much, this is going to be our operations and funding engine and our communication engine. So we're getting rid of Constant Contact. We're going to save ourselves money on that. We're going to get rid of all those different Excel sheets, tracking membership, and Word documents, and we can do everything here. And then we're now going to also incorporate all the aspects of Google Workspace. And I know everybody wants training on Google Workspace. So we're going to actually play with some of this stuff too. So first, if you haven't heard of Zeffy, Zeffy is a 100% free fundraising platform for nonprofits. And I know a lot of clubs have used this. We did it for our Diamonds and Dice event, and we were able to really look at our past events. We were able to really do some great fundraising where we didn't have to pay any fees. We did learn, however, they automatically add on a 17% fee for their platform, but it's optional. And so you do have to kind of educate your membership when you are doing these type of campaigns that there is a 17% automatic, and they can change that and put that to 0. So that's how it's 100% free. So, but if you have donors or you have members that want to donate to them, they can put an amount in there and they can add that on. And we actually had people that said, you know what, I want to support this company for supporting you, and so I'm going to do those platform fees. Because otherwise, if everybody put it to 0, essentially there would be no money to fundraise and there'd be no money for this platform to exist. So it was hugely successful, and so I started playing around with it. And I thought, wow, this is kind of like really cool, right? So you can create a campaign, and when you create a new campaign, it gives you different things that you can fundraise for or do. And one of them, of course, is an event, right? So you can do your galas, you can do your volunteering events, you can do all kinds of things, anything that sells a ticket, manage a registration, or raise funds, because you can always set it to 0. So we decided that we were going to, instead of having all of our events that people would register for, including our membership meeting, that we would essentially go and we would have all our membership register. And I said, well, I really wanted to do Meetup, because you know what Meetup does? It keeps attendance, and we have a really hard time, and all the clubs have a hard time in managing membership requirements, tracking members, figuring out what's going on with that member. Well, Zeffy has a check-in. It has an attendance piece that Meetup has. And so we said, you know what? We don't need to do Meetup. We can just use this event piece. And then what happens is when you have an organization page, and you can add those events to your organization page. So now we don't have to also update our website with all of our events. We have our website event page now just linked to the Zeffy page. And so if a member wants to go and see what's going on, they can just go straight to the event site. It takes them here, and they can sign up for Bayshore Cleanup. They can sign up for the general membership meeting and pay for their lunches, or let us know what they're going to bring for their potluck for the evening. And then we can also prepare better. And when members come and they show up, we have the registration people get a link. They don't even have to have an account. They get a link, and they're able to sit there and just push a button and check people in as they come in through that door. And that gets rid of printing out the attendance rosters. It gets rid of having to update Excel sheets for who came. It gets rid of updating our committee chairs on who came. So all of it is just done automatically, and then it's put into that person's profile. And so if we ever want to look at a member and we want to see what they're doing or what they've contributed or what they've paid, we can just go to their profile and we can say, okay, this person did all their requirements. Let's add a tag that says they met all of their requirements, and we will have a list of everyone that has or has not. We also have our membership renewal, where members can now renew their membership right here. They just click here, and we can increase our awareness about what they can contribute, because when they automatically renew their membership, we can ask a whole bunch of survey questions about what they want to contribute. What do they want to help out with? What are they interested in? And what do they want to get from membership? And not only is it doing this now, and then you're making the payment in all one fell swoop, this stuff goes on their profile. And our membership team, our committee chairs, our leadership can look and see what our membership is interested in, what they want to contribute to. And it's all done in just one fell swoop. It's not a membership application or a renewal dues application, then a payment, and some are by check, and some by credit card, and some by this, and then trying to compile it and figuring it out and putting it in QuickBooks, then doing a survey about what they're interested in, and so forth and so forth, and not getting answers. So now if somebody wants to renew their membership, they are going to have to answer these questions, and we're going to get a better idea about what membership is going to be. And if they can't figure this out and do it online, they can just call the office, and the secretary can go and they can walk them through. They can pull it up on their screen, and they can verbally ask them these questions, collect their credit card information, put it in there. If they want to pay for by check, they can show up at the clubhouse, they can give the check, and then the secretary goes into this form and fills out the form. Every single member is going to have a detailed profile now. So what does that look like? Well, I'm going to just pull up our contacts, and I'm just going to pull up myself so that you can kind of see me. So now here I have a whole profile, right? You can see how much I've donated, my largest donated. I also have a membership card, which you can actually go and you can print them out for members. I can see all the things that I was communicated with, and if I've opened those emails, it has all of my details, all of my information. It has all my payments. So what's going to happen here is when I go and I attend something, right, this will be listed here, and you can click on it, and then you can see if they attended or not. And then we have our manual lists. So board member, but say that I've made my requirements, I can go and I can get tagged as I've met my committee requirements, right? I've met my fundraising requirement or my meeting requirement. Or maybe someone identified me as a leads candidate throughout the year, but then it's not time for leads, right? You say, oh, that person would be great for leads. And then leads comes around in 8 months and everybody forgets about it, or they lose that list, or they lose that sheet where you wrote it down, or maybe it's a new administration. Well, now I can sit there and I can click on this person and I can say, you know what, they're going to make a great lead candidate and I want them to be considered. So I checked that. So then when leads comes out and we're looking at who we're going to nominate, we can go and we can sort by tags, by lists. Volunteer of the year candidates. At the end of the year, we're like, oh, who should we do for volunteer year? I know we mentioned someone, or this person or that person did this. Now we can go in and we can tag them throughout the year. And at the end of the year, we can go through that list. And then we can create notes. So say I'm the president right now, and I said, oh, you know what, Deanya, she's great. She did this and this and this. She'll make a great volunteer of the year. So I can write in here why I think that it would make a great volunteer of the year nominee or a leads candidate nominee. Or say that I go in here and I'm the membership chair, and I'm looking through the list and seeing who's been active, who's not been active. And I can see, you know what, Deanya hasn't had any events. She hasn't been going to meetings. She hasn't been going to events. You know, that's kind of curious. So, you know what, let me reach out to her. So I reach out to her and she says, look, my husband's been hospitalized in a rehabilitation hospital and, I've just been focusing on my energy. I just really haven't been able to do things and I just don't know if I'm really going to be able to participate in stuff for the next 3 months. And I'm going to go, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm going to let the corresponding secretary know to send out a card. And I'm going to write a note in here. And I'm going to be like, look, not making membership requirements due to husband health issues. Sent out a card. Follow up in, 3 months. Or follow up next month just to see how she's doing. And then, which I haven't even gotten into, right? I'm going to go, I need a reminder about that, right? But then I'm going to go put that in my reminders, right? No, I don't need to. So I'm just going to click on my little Gemini guy over here because I'm in Chrome. And Gemini is connected to everything, right? When you're working in Google Workspace, Gemini is connected to your workspace. It's connected to your files, your emails, your to-dos, everything, your calendar, everything. So it can help you with everything, and it knows everything about you, the organization. So I'm going to say, hey, you know what? Remind me in 1 month in my Google Calendar to follow up with Dianya. And then I'm just going to go and I'm going to click it. And it's going to connect into my Google Calendar. And it's going to go and it's going to put that event into my calendar. All I got to do is just click it. It's done. Or I can even ask it, can you write an email to all board members letting them know Dianya's husband is sick and won't be able to participate in the next 3 months. So everybody's kept in the loop. This thing is so fast and it's so good. It literally changed everything. I can have Google over here go, if I go in here, can you summarize all of Dianya's activities? It can see my screen. It knows who I am because it can see everything here. And it tells me all the recent communications that I've had in email. It will go on this page and it will look for all the things that I've contributed to, and it will create a summary. Imagine, I don't, because on the Zoom and recording, I don't want to pull up other people's profiles, and I don't want to show all of our contacts. But essentially, I could have it go and pull a report and look at all the report of all the people that have not had any activity. I can have it pull information about who has a specific skill set based on that membership requirement and who can help with this upcoming project. Who might be a good volunteer of the year? Who might be good for grant writing? Who might be good because we need a chair to help out with fundraising? With the questions and everything that you can collect in Zephy, so Zephy is going to be the collections, right? Google Gemini is going to be the analyst and help you with everything else. You see, was there a question?
Yes, that was me, Dianya.
Yes.
It's we already use Zephy in North Pinellas for payments. Only the treasurer has access. So this is not something that we have open to other people in the club. Are there different controls that can be assigned for Zephy?
Yes, that's a great question.
I know my treasurer would really object to having everybody be able to access that. Okay, so that's a yes. And how about the activities? When someone signs up for an activity or you create an activity or an event, is that private or is that online, open to anyone discovering it?
So answer a quick question to your second question. Either or. You let it know. So there are campaigns, right? So when I go to the organization page, when you're going through an event and creating an event, it will ask you if you want it published here. If you don't want it published here, then it's not published.
Okay, so you can just leave it within your own site that only the members can see, is that right?
Right. So what we do is, for this site here is our public site. Now, we're not sharing this site, right? So when we're doing a public event, like for example, if we are doing our fundraiser, right? We're not sharing this site, right? What we're sharing is the event page only.
Done. Okay.
Now, could someone,
private, you know what I mean?
Could someone find this? Yes, they could. If they went onto our page, right, and they went to all of our events and activities, and they clicked on it, it would bring this up here. Now, there's many different ways you can do that, and you can secure it, and we can talk about how you can do that at a later time, because there is another way to make things more secure. We don't feel like it's necessary to like make this password protected.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, thanks. I was not aware of these other features in Zephy. I think this is awesome.
Right. So if we're talking about things like, you know, board meetings that are private or like things like that, that would not go up on here. Right? So, but this, you just would have to make sure whatever you would want would have to be, you know, public knowledge in a sense. Now, it's not being searchable or anything like that. You'd still have to get the link to go here or go to our subscribe to get this. But other than that, you're not going to see that. Now, going to settings, you can give users access based on what you want them to see, based on campaign, based on various aspects. So here you can manage users in your settings. So as you can see, we have a bunch of different people that have different accesses. Mm-hmm. So say that I wanted to invite, if I wanted to invite a new user, right? I put their first name, their last name, and then their email. And I'm going to go here, and I'm only going to select only specific campaigns. So for Diamonds and Dice, we had 3 volunteers that helped with collecting money for the diamond raffle tickets and the champagne things. And we wanted to have them have it in their app where they could charge people using their phones. And we wanted them to be able to see it, right? Of course. So we only gave them access to the things that they needed, you know, to have access to. So donation, in-person diamond raffle tickets, and it's only going to show that one campaign. They're going to have access on their app. And when I do that, I also tell whether they can edit the form or not, right? Which I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to want them, I may not want them to manage the payments, right? Or track payments. But I may want them to see the receipt because, like, what if, like, somebody asks, like, can I see this receipt? So I want them to see that receipt. I want them to do accept tap to pay payments, right, on their phone. And I want them to access that guest list from the app, right? But I don't want to give them contacts and communication. I don't want to give them bank, and I don't want them to give. And so then I can just set them just to that and give them very limited access, right?
Awesome. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
But my directors, I'm going to want them to have, they don't necessarily have, like, I want to give them access maybe to, like, the new member applications and the membership applications, right? Because I want them to be able to see who members are when they applied and the information that they provided. But I'm also going to want to give them contacts and communication, right? Because they need to be able to do that. But they're not going to be able to manage payments. I can turn off, you know, accept tap to payments, but maybe I'll want them to access the guest list. But then even going up and beyond, I can give people link access. So like we have for our membership meeting, right? So we have our general membership meeting. We're going to have our guest list, right? And so what I can do is I can give them a check-in manager that copy the shareable link here. And this will only pull up a page. Oops. That's all it will pull up. Whoever has that link will be able to see the guest list.
That's awesome.
So if say I have a project leader for going to Trinity Cafe, I don't need them to give them any access to Zeffy. All I want them to do is tell me who's there, right? So they can go down the list and they check them off. And that's it. And
that's
checked
awesome.
in, not checked in. And then when they are checked in and they register, you can go back, you know, to your communication, and you can go back to that person, or you can go back to that campaign, and you can identify all the people that came. So what are the bigger pictures of that, right? Bigger pictures are that now my communications chair automatically can go in here, right, into that event right after the event. They can see who came. They can create a presentation in Vids about Trinity Cafe, right? So I can go to my apps, I can go to Vids, or I could go to Canva, I can go to whatever, right? And I could go and do a quick, I can do a storyboard. Now the storyboards are the ones that are going to be more detailed, like where it makes it for you, right? So I could say, you know, volunteers from the GFWC Tampa Women's Club volunteered at Trinity Cafe, right? Tampa. So I can go in here, and then it's going to create an outline, introduction, mission of service, overviewing. Let's see what it comes up with. Right? I don't know. I'm going to pick a nice little title. Oh, that looks fun. So let's edit and draft that video. So my communication person now can also take all those individual names, and on one of the slides, right, in the video, can say thank you to all these people for coming out, and then we can have, and then you can just replace one of the back images with it. So let's take a look at this video. Let's see if it did any good.
The GFWC Tampa Women's Club recently dedicated their time to serve the community at...
Sorry, it's lagging.
Tampa Women's Club recently dedicated their time to serve the community at Trinity Cafe in Tampa. This video highlights the incredible efforts of the GFWC Tampa Women's Club as they partnered with Trinity Cafe to make a real difference in the lives of those facing food insecurity. The GFWC Tampa Women's Club is committed to service, fostering civic engagement, and making a positive impact on...
So it's going to make this really cool video, right? And this is a great base. Now, all I got to do is just replace a lot of this stuff, right? Because some of this stuff doesn't make sense, or it's not us. So I can just go in here, and I can just go to the images, and I can just change the image, right? So I'm going to go to uploads. And so by that time, somebody's probably went and uploaded, you know, some volunteer pictures. I'm going to just throw some random stuff that kind of popped up really quickly, right? And I'm going to just go and I'm going to replace this. So I'm going to delete the old one, and then I'm going to just put this sucker in. I might need to stretch it out, you know, of course, and put it there. I know this doesn't look good, but I'm really just trying to show you really quick what the possibilities are. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to take this, I'm going to send this back, or I'm going to do something, and you're going to have your Trinity Cafe. So then in here, you could have your GFWC logo. Then the next one, we can have a picture of the volunteers. The next one, we can go and name all the volunteers. Maybe the next one, we can talk about Trinity Cafe. So here's where you have all those possibilities, okay? And So maybe you're not doing this for a rectangular video, right? Because this is meant for like almost maybe like a YouTube video. Well, when you're making your vids, you can select essentially what type of format you want. So before I click on that storyboard, I want this to be portrait, right? So it looks like a phone, so it's good for Facebook or Instagram, or maybe I just want a square. And so it tells you which ones and what things that you can do for each type of thing. Now, say like I did want to create my own background and I wanted to use VO, which essentially is your 8-second thing. So I can say, you know, create a video of women volunteering at Trinity Cafe. Okay, and I could add ingredients too to help it. And these are going to be like quick 8-second videos. Now, the ingredients, it's going to alter the pictures and videos, and sometimes it's not going to alter it the way you want, right? So this is not going to be the thing that you want to do if you want to have specific pictures. You're going to want to create maybe that template first that it does for you, then just replace the background pictures. Or you're just going to do it from scratch. Or you could have you could have Gamma do it for you, right? And while that guy is running, let's go over here to the dashboard. When that guy's running, I've got to go to my my Gamma. I could go and create a new AI, and if I put pictures into Gamma, it doesn't modify it. Okay? Once I'm in here, we do our membership meeting. Once I'm here, for example, the one thing that I did was to create our membership meetings. And Gamma AI is so smart that when my board members go and they give me different reports, I can just go to the AI agent and I can say, hey, can you just change this slide to this new stuff? And it's going to automatically do it and add new pictures. And then we have like themes each month. So each month, so ours is green and white. So why this one's green and white? So maybe next one is purple and blue. I can just have it change the theme to purple and blue. And I can just ask the AI to do it. But the cool thing is I can share it and I can export it. So I can export it to Google Slides. So once I export it to Google Slides, which just takes a minute, I can go to my vids and I can go right to convert slides. And it's going to make me a full video based on my slides. And it's going to maintain your pictures. So that might be one way if you wanted a whole presentation to go. So different ways. All right. So
here's a nice hot plate.
So let's see what this looks like.
Here's a nice hot plate for you. Don't forget the cookies. Oh, thank you both very much.
Just kind of cute. Not too bad. It did get Trinity Cafe in the background, right? But the thing is, I'm being very general, and what we're doing is really something called dirty prompts. Dirty prompts are not very well thought out prompts. You're given one sentence, one command. You know, it is not very detailed. It's just guessing. So you need to make sure that when you're prompting, you're giving it good prompts, not a dirty prompt. And if you don't know fully what a dirty prompt is, you can ask Gemini, right? So you may want to have this open and you may want to practice this with Gemini and say, look, I want to make a video in vids, what is it, V3 or something they call it, VO3. Can you help me with a prompt? And then you post it. You paste that prompt, and then it thinks really fast. And it'll give you a better prompt maybe, right? Because also remember, Gemini knows you. It knows your organization, right? And you're going to train it on your voice. You're going to train it on what you need to do. So that's a whole nother. So here it tells you all the different options that you can pick. And then it tells you to specify colors, describe lighting, all those things. So you want to have a solid prompt. But even with some of these things, it does a really good job. So I did one just for the heck of it. I did a dirty prompt for happy birthdays. I wanted to do a happy birthday video, right? So I said, here are all my April birthdays for my club, and I wanted a video. And so it made a video for me. And actually it was pretty good.
Get ready to celebrate. It's time to recognize the wonderful GFWC Tampa Women's Club members celebrating their birthdays in April 2026. April is a month filled with joy, connection, and many reasons to celebrate our amazing members. To all our GFWC Tampa Women's Club members, we look forward to celebrating each of you. This month, we have many special celebrations spread throughout April. Let's take a look at the schedule. We kick off the month with a few early April birthdays to set the celebratory tone. Starting us off on April 5th is Val Knight, wishing you a very happy birthday.
So, for some reason the song got all messed up. I don't know what happened to it. It didn't get stretched on, but it had birthday music. Oh, I was messing with the birthday music. That's why I was messing with it the last night. So essentially you literally can do anything with this. The possibilities are endless. So if you don't like the text, you click on voiceover and you just change it. And each slide, it will change the text for you. And you can do this from scratch too. Just do it, you don't have to. And then say you want music, right? You click on music, it will generate a song for you, your own song. Not even a real song, like an actual AI generated song that you can throw in here. And so this is what I was messing with. So it created the happy birthday song, because I was like, oh, create the happy birthday, and I wanted it to be instrumental.
Recognizing our incredible members.
So it's not doing it, but let me go back over here.
Time to recognize the wonderful GFWC Tampa.
So you can see like it was the background. I was trying to get it to be instrumental. It's not perfect, but this literally got released like a couple of weeks ago. So it's just going to get better. You got to give it time. You can generate an image with Nano Banana. Nano Banana is one of the best image generators out there. And if you're having problems with generating images, this is the guy you want to go to. Nano Banana is the best, okay? And although Veo kind of uses it, it's a little bit complicated, but it with the videos, it's a little harder. But like if you want to do image generation, this is blowing ChatGPT's image generation away. Nobody's as good as a Nano Banana right now. But then say that you want to do a training and you want to do this. You can record yourself with a script. So see how it gives you the script so you don't like the AI voice? Just record your own voice in your own video. Uploads, if you have pictures, you can also use stock images, you can do captions, you can do, so like, for hearing impaired, or if you want it for Facebook or Instagram, captions are the thing. It will generate the captions for you. It's so good. If you want to add text, if you need a template, shapes, whatever you need, this has it. And if you don't know how to use it, this is what you do. You don't need me anymore. You go and ask Gemini. That's it. Gemini can see what you're doing and say, hey, look, can you look on this? And I want to add a picture and I can't figure it out. It will tell you. And then you go to it and you tell it, Veo's not generating properly. It will help you go through steps that you may need to do to help it generate properly. Or it might say, you know what, it just can't do that right now. But you're not going to sit there and spend hours guessing. You're not going to go to a Google search. You're not going to wait to hear back from me. You're not going to do all that. Just go to Gemini and ask Gemini. And it's going to tell you. And there's a couple of things that I just want to say about Gemini really quick. It has different modes. Generally, fast mode is your default, and it can do a lot of your quick stuff, right? But say that you get a generation and it's not answering your question. It's not really doing or not helping you, and you're feeling frustrated with it. Go to the thinking model and just click on thinking and then re-ask the question, because it's going to be a lot smarter. It's going to think through the steps. It's going to think about what, you're asking, and then it's going to generate something a little bit better, but it's going to take a little bit more time. And then lastly, there is the pro with coding and math, and you do not need that unless you're starting to code. But the thing to keep in mind with this is that you're using tokens. Every time you do a search, every time you use a better model or create an image, you're using tokens. And the more complicated things that you're doing, or the more you're doing, the more tokens you use. Our professional version creates a lot. Like our nonprofit gives you a lot of tokens. I haven't run out of tokens, and I've been working this thing to death. Okay? Where even with ChatGPT and a paid subscription, you're going to run out of tokens eventually. If you go with Claude, you're going to run out. But because we have that professional version as a nonprofit, we're not going to run out of tokens unless you like really go crazy. So you kind of want to be a little bit careful with your models. But essentially, if you just need a quick answer, it's easy. Fast is going to do like 75% of your work. Thinking is when it doesn't work and you need to kind of like revise it a little bit. So, lots of really cool stuff. So I see there's another question. Is there another question still?
Yeah, I just have a quick question. I'm going to take you back to Zeffy. We collect a lot of in-kind donations. How would you go about using Zeffy to record those?
Got you. So I would just create a campaign where, let's see, let's do a new campaign. And I would do a one-time gift and recurring gifts from supporters. Let me see if there's anything else. Power supporters to fundraise, other sales. I would use other sales. And I would do in-kind donations. I'm not going to create a date, right? Unless you're doing it for a specific thing, right? But you don't have to have a date, right? So
well, we do in-kind donations probably every general meeting. So I would put whatever, like this meeting coming up, we're collecting diapers and formula.
Right.
So
you can actually set it ahead of time. So like say your meeting is on 30th, right, at 8 p.m. or whatever, right? And it occurs once, but it doesn't. It occurs monthly, right? So we can do monthly until like say that your club year, I'm really doing this fast, ends here, right? So and then you just, or you can do or you can want to do specific ones, you can add different specific ones as well.
Okay.
So there's multiple ways of doing that, and you can just set it and forget it, right?
Okay.
So next, or you can just duplicate the campaign, if it gets too complicated. Set a location, clubhouse, whatever, right? Fundraising target, you can skip for now, or you can put a fundraising target that you want $1,000 in kind donations, right? You're going to add your description. And then, you don't know what your description is, right? So what do? You go to Gemini, right? You clear the chat, and you go, I need a description for members to bring diaper supplies at the next meeting. I'm typing really fast and not looking, right? So it's saying, it's confirming what you're doing. Here's a description. Great title, right? Help us wipe away the need. And then we just take this right here And we just replace this here, right? We're done with that. And of course, you can adjust this as needed. It needs still a lot of human. You can pick your colors. I want pink, and then add a banner. I can replace it where something were here, or I can just upload. Oh my gosh, I could put a video, right? Could you imagine you create a square video in Vids? You upload that to YouTube, and then you put the link right there. Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be the coolest thing, right? A logo is always generally standard, right? So add tickets unlimited, right? And so the title for this one would be perhaps if you're doing categories, but you can just go do diaper supplies, right? And then you can put, and we're going to put 0, right? Because we're not going to want to charge anybody, right? And then you can do specific things. So then you're going to ask your custom question, right? So your custom question is going to be, what are you donating and how much is it worth? And then, oh, I didn't create new, sorry. And it's required. Create question. So I'll go here. Yeah, I'll always turn this guy on to generate additional. Maybe members want to donate some dollars, right? I can customize my e-ticket. I don't want an e-ticket, right? Because they're just bringing stuff. And then, oh, I need a thank you. I need a thank you email. Right. All right. Hi, blah, blah, blah. Because it's already going to automatically put the person's name in, right, when they donate. So when they register, it's going to put their name here. And then, oh, I want to maybe like assign it to a specific fund. Where are my notifications going? Maybe it's a member, and I'm not going to put my email. And this is the part where I want to display this on my organization page. So if I don't want this on my organization page, I can opt out of this, right? And then I can also translate and so forth. Yay, I'm done. And I can view my campaign. And so I'm going to pick this meeting, and I am going to do that. And I'm going to answer all these questions, and I'm going to tell you how much it's worth. And so then when you go to my profile, or, whoever's doing it knows who's bringing stuff. Now, there's technically another way that you can do this, but I'm going to put that on hold. Because remember how we talked about, like, having something more secure? So if you have a members only area, right, and it's behind a password wall, all you're doing is just copying that link, right? You can copy that link, and if I'm going to a sample site. Let me see. I messed around with our training site. So I'm going here, and this is my thing. I can just sit there and I can insert a text, right? And I can put that, and then I can go and I can link that text, right, to that thing, and then they can just click on it. And if you really want to get fancy, here, let's get really, really fancy. Zeffy also embeds. So, more ways to share. I'm going to go, I can get a QR code and I can put on there, or I can just embed this on my website. And it even works with it. So, I want a campaign, and I want it to go directly on my site. I'm going to copy my HTML code, right? Because we've learned this before. We're going to embed the code like that. I'm going to insert that. And I might want to adjust it a little bit. And then I could probably go, I'm going to probably put a text box, and I'll put that maybe like right here. And then this is for donations, you know, diaper supplies. Now we're going to make this look a lot better before we publish, but I'm just going to preview this. So now when your members go to your member only area, they'll actually see the picture, and they can actually do this, and they can check out directly from your website. They never have to leave, but it's just a little bit more manual.
That's amazing.
So I've tested all this stuff. Trust me, before I went and did this, before I even was going to commit with the club, I did this. Like, I needed to know that this could happen, and this could be the way that it needed to be. But then we decided, you know what? I mean, people like, I mean, only so far you can go with security. Now, talking about security, right? Going into security, you generally, remember we taught, don't ever give AI information. Don't give it personal information. Don't give it members' names, date of birth. Don't give it anything, right? Because you are working within the Google workspace and frame, Gemini is secure. It will not be use that information to train models or make that information public.
Okay.
So you, in Google, when you're using Gemini, it is secure, and you can put whatever you want, and it can look at anything you want it to look at.
Wow.
And it's secure and compliant. But you need to make sure that you're compliant, and make sure you have second factor auths on all of your users. It's a pain in the butt, because you either have to get a text if you log in somewhere new. Sometimes it just does it for the heck of it. Sometimes it wants you to go to a Google app. Sometimes you just get locked out, and it's annoying, but it's your responsibility to make sure that's turned on, and then you are compliant. And you can even ask Gemini if you're compliant, and it will do an audit and tell you whether you're compliant or not. So that's a huge piece, and that goes to the second to last part on my kind of must-have features. So this is kind of, and then I was going back to another piece with the campaigns. Oh, there was another way that you could do this. So you technically could go, I'm going to edit this campaign. I'm going to edit this guy. Let me see. Actually, there's one where I want to do it where there's a different campaign for this. So let me go back to the campaigns here. They just added this like last week, where it is a number that you can put in, and I haven't quite, let's see if it's here. So say I want to do diaper bank, right? Diaper supplies. I'm going to go through it. I can do a fundraising goal, but we're really not going to be publishing this. We're going to skip through all these things. So I'm going to turn off this. Is going to be a one-time, and then whatever, default options, that's fine. Default options here. So there we go. Generate tax receipts. Yes, we do. Full name, blah, blah, blah. And we can put, you know, what is you're donating, right? We're going to create this. We're just going to keep going. So now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to publish this, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to have someone at the meeting that's recording people as they come in with their donations. So I'm going to go to my diaper bank, and I'm going to go to, I'm going to go to payments, and I'm going to record an offline payment, right? Click on this guy, and I'm going to say in kind. Ta-da! Click. This is the donation, right? And then I can put, what are you donating and how much, right? And then I can save and add another. So that's another way of kind of doing it. So I'm going to save and add another. And then I'm going to do another offline payment in kind. And I want to make sure that I have the member, right? So we know what member did it, right? And I'm going to put in there, you know, $50 worth of diapers. Save. And so I'm going to have it there like that. And we're going to know that I did a donation and it was in kind. If you want value, right? Value, what I would do is other. I'd put the $50 and I would put Deonia, right? And then I would go and I would right, that I am it was diapers, right? And then also, like, I wanted to generate that tax receipt, and I want to also send the configured thank you email, right? So now you've done all of your other compliance stuff done in one shot. And then I'm going to save, I'm not going to do this because I don't want this to do that. But, and then I would save it, right? And then it's going to pop up. And then when you look at my profile, that's going to show as well. So let's see if I can just delete these now, hopefully. I might have to figure that out later. But I'm just going to delete this whole campaign anyway. But that would essentially be the way that you would do that. Depending on if you want your dollar amounts to be registered like that, or if you just want to just know that they donated something in kind. And then what you can do is you can export it into an Excel sheet, and then when you're doing your reporting, just see, you know, and you can see how much. And then you could ask Gemini to add it all up for you. Right? And then you're done with it. So it can do lots of cool stuff like math and stuff. So so if I had sheets and I had, like, donated $50, donated $25, donated $25, and then I can go to Gemini and I say, like, on this sheet, how much was donated? There you go. It's $100, right? So you don't have to separate it out. Doesn't matter if it's in the text. Just have Gemini do it for you. All right, so that is my presentation for today. I am finished with that. So, assignment 1, some homework. Verify your Google account. Ensure you can access Google Classroom. Sign up and browse Zephy and think of one upcoming event that needs a campaign that you've never done before. If you haven't already, and these are, of course, if you haven't signed up for things, make sure you're signed up and created your brand profile in Canva. And then assignment number 4, sign up for a free Gamma account if you don't have one. I would highly consider paying for the subscription, but the activity that we will do in person will only require you to create 3 slides. But essentially you can only, I believe, create 5 slides, and it's very limited on the AI capabilities in the free version. It's something like $15 a month. With everything else being free, it's a great investment. if you were to pay for any one thing, right? Especially if you're paying for Meetup, and you may like Meetup and keep with Meetup, but Meetup's been very difficult, and I know it doesn't do a lot of things. So, you pay a lot if you're paying for Meetup. So we definitely have a way of doing that. And then lastly, our in-person session, we're really going to use all of our tools together, and we're going to build campaigns. We're going to build full campaigns from scratch using Canva. We're going to start with Gamma. We're going to use Gemini. We're going to put it on Zephy. We're going to use our websites. We're going to use every part of Google Workspace and Gamma and Canva and Gemini and all that. So we're going to have lots of fun in class doing all that. And then I'm going to take you to one more place as kind of a little extra treat. If you have someone in your club that's really, really a nerd like me and that really, really wants to do something like absolutely beyond cool, I'm going to show you one more thing, and he can't find it in the Google Workspace. And I don't know why they don't put it in the Google Workspace, but Google did something really crazy. They have something called AI Studio. Let's see. Studio Google. And you click on it, and you build your ideas with Gemini. So, really cool preview. You can create apps. Do you ever want to create your own custom backend portal? I know I do, right? That's secured by two-factor auths and Google, who is 100% compliant. Something that could clone your Zephy page and put it into a secure area, or your campaigns, all connected with APIs and emails and phone numbers and all that. So you can go to your apps and you can create your own. And you can do something called vibe coding. And vibe coding essentially is coding, but visually. And so I started one in here just for the heck of it, for fun, so I can show you a little bit of a preview. Sometimes it takes a little longer to create these guys. So I wanted to make sure that I could kind of give you a little bit of a preview. So while this preview loads, I'm going to show you how dirty this prompt is. So I said to it, I would like a member portal for the GFWC Tampa Women's Club where my members can access information about the club, including the budget, a member directory, chat with directors and chairs through Google Chat and other files. I'd like a chat feature on a gem that's trained on the club and they can ask as many questions as they need. I'd like an easy interface to attach links into the file directly from my Google Workspace. So if the files update, so does Gemini Chat and the access files. Right? Super easy. It went to work. It gave accesses. It did all kinds of coding things, right? It says, okay, I've completed it. I've done key features, a member directory, a resource portal, an AI club assistant, a role-based access. So everybody can do that. And so it created an administrator access for your board members. So all those things we talked about, even on the back end, and if Zephy comes out with an API, you should be able to connect that back end API into here. And everybody can access, whether you're an administrator, whoever you are, can access everything directly in here. So member roles, everything. And then it created security rules to keep your data safe, right? And so that's the important part. It's locked in Firestone. Your directory is going to be synced with your Google contacts. It did some other kind of cool code. I asked it a couple of things and I want to sync it to my members. I was like, and you can just ask it how. You don't have to tell it. So I said, oh, how do I sync my members from my Google contacts? Because I don't want to have to create all these contacts in here, right? So it did it all kind of editing, and it said this is how it's going to work, and these are the things that you need to do. So it's telling me that I need to give access to it in a secret panel in like Google Cloud, right? Well, I don't know how to say I don't know how to do that. I do know how to do that, but say you didn't know how to do that. What do? go to Gemini, right? And then you go, okay, it wants me to do this. So how do I create the client ID codes, right? And it will tell me how to do it. It will tell me where to go, right? So it says go to the Google Cloud Console. All right, so I'm going to go there. Now I'm in the Google Cloud Console. Well, it's going to make me log in, all that stuff. And it's going to literally walk me through all of the steps that I need to go through to get there. Okay. So I haven't done that yet because I was stopping here because I just wanted to kind of give you the example. So now I have a fully functioning club assistant, right? So I can ask it anything about the club, you know? So where is the GFWC Tampa Women's Club? I haven't completely programmed it yet because again, it was a dirty prompt, but it is going to use Gemini and it's going to use anything that's searchable. So here it says the GFWC Tampa Women's Club is located in South Tampa, right in the iconic Bayshore Boulevard. All right, let me ask, when is the next meeting, right? How many people get calls on that? When is the next meeting? The meeting date hasn't changed. It's first Thursday of the month, but how many people call and ask you that, right? So when is the next meeting? And then this doesn't have it because I haven't programmed on it all, but it said here are held monthly from September through May, but it could not verify. So I still haven't programmed this, but by the time this thing is programmed and done, it's going to know everything. It's going to have a directory where you can click on the directory and see the person's pictures and their information. You're going to be able to search the membership directory. And imagine all those other things that we added into those member applications, right? Where, you know, they're interested in this or interested in that. Imagine all of that's just searchable from a tab, right? You don't have to go into Zephy. You don't have to click on clients. You don't have to look at everybody. Then, resources. Here's all of our files. Here's our budget. Here's our bylaws. Here are the minutes. Here are other. Put whatever you want here. You are building this from scratch. It's only built me the framework. And all I got to do is talk to it and say, for all club files, can you synchronize with this folder on my Google Drive? And anything you want to show here in all files, you put into that folder. Budget, you put it into that folder, or you have it integrate with an Excel sheet, or you have it integrate with QuickBooks and it'll pull up the budget. Or you could have it just pasted as an HTML. Bylaws, same thing. Minutes. You could have this as drop-down lists. You can do anything in here that a regular website does without ever going into here and making it by scratch. You don't even need Google Sites. You can go here and tell it to create you a website and publish it and connect it to your URL. It's a game changer. Everything is different. You can't think anymore as files, manual entry, making things and things. All you have to do now is talk to it and it will make you whatever you want. You publish this, you upload it to the App Store, and you have a fully functional website. An app, sorry. So that's my teaser of end game of where everything really is going. You don't need thousands and thousands. You know how much this would have cost just to get this far? At least $5,000.
Yeah, this is good stuff. Really good stuff.
I'm glad you guys like that. So that's my whole little extra bonus.
That's not a little bonus. That's a blow your mind bonus.
So if the first part didn't blow your mind, that was definitely going to blow your mind. So I was going to make sure everyone's mind were blown. Didn't matter what level you were on. So I hope to see everyone on Thursday at 5 o'clock. Any other quick questions before we leave?
When are you planning to put this, send this out to us?
Which part?
The recording.
Oh, the recording. As soon as I can get it to generate, I'll put it up on the portal.
I've learned not to take notes and just play the recording a couple of times.
You can, but oh my gosh, with AI, right? With transcripts, right? So you can take transcripts, and where can you put those transcripts? Into Gamma or into Vids. And you can create an entire training video on this conversation that's customized to your club. It's not even the video. The video is not even worth anything anymore. Because honestly, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to teach you this today, and then tomorrow I'm going to teach you something else. Right? Because it's changing so fast. It's just changing so fast. What's going to happen in the next 2 weeks is absolutely 100% critical in AI and development. I mean, they're just, the stuff that they're releasing, and I know that they're releasing, are going to blow your mind even more.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening in, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks,
Steve.
All right. Bye-bye.